Hi everyone, this is Dale C. Washington of Greater Works, Prophetic Ministry, and Raw. It is Thursday morning, August 14th of 2025. It is shortly after 1 a.m. Thursday morning. So this is going to be a quick release that I'm sharing with you all on this morning, okay? A very quick release. The title is Beyoncé's Inner Chambers, and this is a dream. So as I was seeking the Lord for a title for this dream, I heard Beyoncé's Inner Chambers, but I also heard the word dungeon, okay? I heard the word dungeon spoken in my spirit as well, okay? But I'm going to leave the title as it is. So I received this dream from the Lord on Tuesday morning, which would have been August 12th of 2025, which was a few days ago. And this is a quick release because I can't continue to hold all the dreams and visions that I've been receiving from the Lord over the years. I have so many things that I should have shared by now, but I did not. And I can't continue to hold these things anymore. I don't have the capacity to keep up with all of this stuff. I don't have the capacity to continue to hold these things. And with other things that I intended to share in a more timely manner, and each time I put it off, another day goes by, another week goes by, another month goes by, in some cases another year goes by, and things are sitting on the shelf that the Lord has given me, and things or they are on the back burner. So I don't have the capacity to hold things anymore, okay? So again, the title is Beyoncé's Inner Chambers Dream. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get into the dream. I saw Beyoncé walking out of a building, and a few people were with her. I don't know who the people were. In the dream, I don't remember recognizing who I saw walking out of this building with her. It was like maybe 2 or 3 people walking with her. And it's possible that they could have been members of her entourage, but I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. I did not recognize, although Jay-Z's face or his photo, he's in this thumbnail, I don't remember seeing him at all. Again, God didn't allow me to recognize who was walking out of this building with Beyoncé. Okay. When I saw her and whoever the few people with her was walking out of the building, Beyoncé appeared to have on regular clothing. And I want to note that because in a few minutes, I'm going to describe something else that I saw her having on. So I didn't recognize her, having on anything like short pants, but later on in the dream, a few minutes later, she did appear to have on shorts. So I'm going to get to that in a second, okay? So in the dream, also at some point in the dream, I began to see Beyoncé's mother's face, her mom's face, okay? I don't know why. I just started seeing her mom's face, and then the focus switched to her mom's eyes for some reason. It was like it was like there was a close-up of the face of her mom's face, but focusing on her eyes. And I don't know why that happened like that, okay? But that's what I saw. I saw her mom's face, and then the eyes was what was kind of like zoomed in to me, her mom's eyes. So at some point, okay, I was looking now at the back of Beyoncé. Let's say, actually what was happening as she was coming out of that particular building, the Lord had me in the dream going in the direction of the building she was coming out of and I was walking toward the building to enter where Beyonce came out of. So as I guess she would have had passed by me, but somehow I'm looking at the back of Beyonce. Okay. Now when I'm looking at the back of her, she has on very short shorts with all of her buttocks showing, all of her buttocks hanging out. Okay. And the strange thing about that scene was, and I don't want to really have to explain all of this, but this was in the dream, okay? Because I don't really care, but this was in the dream. Her buttocks did not appear the same way they appear when you see her out performing on stage at her concerts. Her buttocks were a different tone. Her skin tone was darker, and her buttocks appeared really kind of like really rough looking, like really rough, like something was wrong with the skin, and her buttocks appeared to be a much darker color than Beyonce's color. Okay, the way you saw her performing at her concert. All right. So that was the odd thing about the dream. So I want to say something about that, and the meaning of that. Naked buttocks usually means exposure. Okay, that is how I've seen that over the years. There's been times when God has shown me, it would be a man's nudity, but it would always be his buttocks hanging out, or men's buttocks hanging out. And that means that person whose buttocks or hind parts are hanging out, that is the person who is being exposed, or who is going to be exposed with their hind parts hanging out for everybody to see. Okay, in the dreams. Okay, that person is being uncovered. Also, usually when God shows me a man's naked buttocks in a dream or a vision, it usually means he's being exposed because he is in homosexuality. Okay, so those are all of the instances where God had where I've seen that in a dream. It's usually a man. And that usually means exposure. And in that moment when I saw Beyonce's hind parts hanging out and the way they looked pretty bad, I knew that was exposure. When I woke up, I knew this dream was exposure. And exposure is coming to her in different areas, and also in some personal ways, some exposure is coming to Beyonce. Okay. So now I'm going to talk about when I entered the building. So I'm entering the building that Beyonce and some maybe entourage or a few people who were with her, I don't know who they were. They just walked out, and I'm walking into this building. So I entered the building, and this place looked like it was open for business. And in the dream, I don't know what kind of a building it was once I got in. I don't know what it looked like on the outside, but I knew it was like a business establishment. It was like a place that was open for business. That was the feel of it. So when I walked in, I saw a woman naked, tied up. She was tied up with some kind of black rope or something. And the woman was to the right side of me. She was laying down on something. I don't know what she was laying down on. And I knew I wasn't going to be able to find pictures of what I was looking at. So this picture, and I have one other picture, is the best I could do. When I saw this, when I woke up, I knew I wasn't going to be able to find pictures that resembled what I saw. The room was kind of spacious, but it didn't exactly feel as big as this photo right here. So that couch that you're looking at, that's on the left side of this picture. So as I'm walking in, there would have been something for this that this lady was laying on the right side. of where I was walking, like that. Okay. And the room felt like it could have been this size or bigger, but whatever she was laying on, and I don't know if it was a couch, I don't know what she was laying on, some type of bed, but you couldn't see the bed. You couldn't see the couch. All I could see was a woman laying on something against a wall to the right side of me as I'm walking through this place. And I'm walking in, and the woman is naked, tied up with like black rope. And I keep walking, and I walk all the way down, and that wall that's to the right side, it's like I turn to the right, and I go around that wall. And when I go around that wall, there is either a stairwell that's leading downward, or there's a slope that's kind of leading me downward. That's how it feels, and I don't remember seeing it crystal clear, but it was sort of like that. Once I made a right turn around that wall to the right side of me to turn or to go down a slope, or maybe there was some stairs, I immediately saw another woman tied up against a wall, and she was naked also, and wrapped up in some type of, I think it was a black rope, naked from head to toe and tied up. It felt like I saw more than just that, but that's all I remember seeing. And when I saw the second lady, I turned around from, if it was the stairs or that slope area, like it was leading downward to see more. By the time I saw the second lady, I couldn't take it anymore. I turned around because I was horrified at what I saw. Okay. I was completely horrified. What I saw was inhumane. Okay. It was inhumane. And I turned around because I couldn't take it. I was so, I don't have the words for how I felt. It felt awful to see what I saw. It was highly disturbing. So when I turned around, now I'm walking to leave back out of the building. And as I'm walking back to leave out of this building, I'm going past the first lady that I saw naked and tied up, laying on something up against a wall. So I see this lady again, and I can't really tell you what their expressions were. It seems like they could have been in agony, but I really couldn't read their expressions that much. But I do know that it appeared to be not, it was not pleasant, whatever they were going through and being tied up. It wasn't like it was voluntarily, something that they were voluntarily doing. Okay. So that's the best way I can describe it. So leaving back out of this building, now I'm walking back past the first lady that I saw, and she's naked and tied up with some type of black rope and when I look at her again, because the first time I just saw the lady. I looked again before I exited this building, and now I am seeing a man, kind of like, I don't know if he was tied to her also. And he seemed to be pretty skinny, because when I first saw the lady, I didn't even see the man. But then I look again and I see there's a man either tied to her, or he's sort of laying kind of close to her, not all the way on top of her, but kind of like he's laying like kind of on the side of her. But it looks like he could have been tied to her, but I'm just not sure. And that was very strange to me. And to me, I was trying to figure out, what was it about the man? What was it about his expressions? I was trying to read what was going on, because in this dream, I didn't see any sexual activity. Okay. Although I didn't see any sexual acts in this dream, the setup of the dream seemed to be for sexual purposes. Okay. And also it was torturous. Okay, being that I saw women who were tied up, who were naked and tied up. So it was torturous. Okay, so, but the man, he appeared as if he pitied the woman, or if he was there somehow to comfort her, or maybe he was being tortured with her or tied up and also trapped. It's a feeling of somehow these women definitely were trapped, but I can't really make out what was going on as to why that man was attached to the woman in that way. And I'm not sure if he was tied to her or voluntarily being there, almost on top of her, but not exactly, kind of to the side of her, if he somehow pitied her in some way. And that doesn't make sense, but that's the description of it. That's the best way I can describe what I saw. Okay. All right. So I think I covered everything. So interestingly though, once I woke up, I couldn't tell where I was, what type of place that was that I was in. And I was very puzzled. So I know that as I said, I knew I wasn't going to be able to find a picture that resembled exactly what I saw. So these are the best two pictures that I could find. So as I began to look for pictures anyway, although I knew I wasn't going to be able to find anything, trying to figure out, well, what kind of place was it? Very clearly, I heard the word parlor spoken in my spirit. Parlor. Okay. So I'm thinking now, well, would this be a sex parlor? Y'all know what I mean? This place, was it a sex parlor? Okay. So that is the dream. And I'm going to tell you what I do know. I know that exposure is coming and exposure is here. Okay. Exposure is coming and exposure is here. Okay. So I have this photo up. I'm going to probably by tomorrow sometime, tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, I'm going to link this video to this message and this dream that I'm sharing now, the Rise of Horus. It was a part 1 and a part 2. I was giving some clues in these pictures right here at the time. And these messages connect. Okay. These dreams connect. So this was about the dinner chambers, and I said, turn the D around. So tonight I included the last part, which is dinner chambers, turn the D around. And this is the part that I included, equal B inner chambers. Okay. If you turn the D around in dinner, you have B inner chambers. Okay. So this dream that I just shared, the title that the Lord spoke to me in prayer was Beyoncé's Inner Chambers. And that concludes this message. Okay? Have a good night.